When the lights of the America's Got Talent stage flickered on, the audience fell silent. From the shadows emerged a thin young man wearing a plain white shirt and worn-out jeans. His shoes were scuffed, his eyes slightly trembling, but behind those eyes, there was fire. The host, Terry Crews, welcomed him warmly, asking for his name. "My name is Leo Ramirez," the young man replied, his accent distinctly Filipino. His voice cracked slightly, a mixture of nerves and excitement. Simon Cowell leaned forward. "Leo Ramirez, wait, haven't we seen you before?" Leo nodded, smiling humbly. "Yes, sir. I auditioned 4 years ago, but I didn't make it past the judge cuts." The audience gasped lightly. They remembered him, the poor Filipino carpenter's son who once sang, "You Raise Me Up," with a trembling voice and raw emotion that had brought the judges close to tears, though his nerves had cost him his spot. This time, however, Leo wasn't just back to sing. He was back to prove that failure was not the end of his story. A journey from sawdust to spotlight. Leo grew up in a small village outside Cebu. His father, Ramon, was a carpenter who worked tirelessly to build furniture for others while barely earning enough to repair their own home. His mother, Maria, sold street food near the market to help make ends meet. From a young age, Leo loved to sing. He would sit on the roof of their house every evening, singing along with the radio while his father hammered away in the background. Ramon often smiled and said, "One day, son, that voice will take you farther than my hands ever could." But life had other plans. When Leo was 16, his father fell ill after an accident at the construction site. The family was plunged into debt. Leo dropped out of school to help his mother. He started assisting his father, sanding wood, carrying heavy planks, learning to measure with precision. But even while working, he sang. In the rhythm of the saws and hammers, he found melody. His coworkers often teased him, calling him the singing carpenter. Years later, with a borrowed guitar and a heart full of hope, Leo auditioned for America's Got Talent in Manila, where the show held its first international scouting event. His performance caught the attention of a talent scout, who invited him to the U.S. That first time, Leo had no money for a plane ticket. His whole village helped raise funds, neighbors, friends, and even his father's old clients. They told him, "Represent us, Leo. Show the world a Filipino dream." He made it to the U.S., but after reaching the judge cuts, his nerves got the best of him. Simon Cowell had told him, "You've got an incredible story and a beautiful tone, but you're not ready yet." It crushed him. When he returned to Cebu, the village greeted him not with shame but with pride. "At least you tried," they said. His father hugged him tightly and whispered, "You'll get another chance. You always do." Years later, the return. 4 years later, his father passed away. Raymond's last words to Leo were simple, "Promise me you'll sing again. Not for fame, not for money, but for your soul." That night, Leo sat by the sea and sang the song his father used to love, The Prayer. His tears mixed with the sea breeze, and for the first time, he felt his father's voice within his own. That moment changed him. He began performing again, at weddings, on sidewalks, and even live streaming online. One of his videos went viral, a raw, emotional performance of Bridge Over Troubled Water, while he stood under heavy rain, his old guitar soaked but his voice unwavering. The clip reached millions, and the America's Got Talent producers saw it. This time, they invited him back, not as a contestant chasing a dream, but as a man ready to live it. The performance. As Leo stood before the judges again, Simon asked, "What made you come back, Leo?" Leo took a deep breath. 4 years ago, I came here to prove myself. But now, I'm here to honor my father, the man who built houses from nothing and gave me everything." Simon nodded gently. "And what will you be singing for us tonight?" Leo smiled softly. "It's a song that means a lot to me, The Sound of Silence. It was the song my father loved to listen to after work. He said it reminded him that even in silence, there's music." The lights dimmed. The crowd hushed. The first notes played softly, just his voice and a faint acoustic guitar. "Hello darkness, my old friend." The tone was deep, rich, and hauntingly beautiful. His voice trembled not from fear, but from emotion. Each lyric seemed to carry the weight of his past, the long nights, the hunger, the loss, and the hope that never died. Halfway through the song, his voice soared, raw and powerful. Tears welled in Sofia Vergara's eyes. Heidi Klum covered her mouth. Even Simon, often the hardest to impress, leaned back, visibly moved. Then came the final verse. Leo's voice softened again, breaking just slightly as he whispered the final line. And the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls. When the last note faded, there was no music, only silence. The kind that speaks louder than applause. And then, the entire auditorium stood. A standing ovation that seemed to go on forever. Simon wiped his eyes and said softly, "Leo, I remember you as that nervous young man who had talent but didn't believe in himself. Now I see a man who sings from his soul." That was perfect. Howie Mandel added, "You didn't just sing that song. You lived it." Terry Crews came out from backstage, visibly emotional. "Ladies and gentlemen, that's what America's Got Talent is all about, giving dreamers like Leo a second chance." And then, the golden confetti burst into the air. Sofia Vergara had slammed the golden buzzer. Leo fell to his knees, crying uncontrollably as the golden lights showered over him. His trembling hands covered his face as the audience chanted, "Leo! Leo! Leo!" On the screen behind him, a picture of his father appeared, smiling, holding a wooden guitar. After the golden moment, Leo's performance became one of the most watched clips in AGT history within 24 hours. Millions around the world were touched by his story. People shared his video with captions like, "Greater than, proof that dreams never die. From carpenter's son to golden buzzer winner." Even Simon Cowell cried, "Enough said." During interviews, Leo said something that stuck with everyone. "Greater than, people think success comes when you win. But for me, success came the day I decided to try again." Back home in the Philippines, his mother watched the performance surrounded by neighbors. She couldn't stop crying. "He did it, Ramon," she whispered to her husband's framed photo. "Our boy did it." Leo's hometown became a symbol of hope. The mayor even renamed the small plaza, Plaza ng Pangarap, Dream Plaza. The finals. When it came time for the finals, Leo chose an original song he wrote called, "Hands of My Father." The lyrics told the story of his dad, the carpenter who built dreams from wood and love. The performance started with a video montage of his village, the workshop, and a young Leo singing on the roof as his father worked below. When he sang, his voice cracked at the line, "With hands of calloused grace, you build my wings of faith." The audience cried. The judges cried. Simon didn't even give feedback immediately. He stood, clapped slowly, and simply said, "Leo, you are what this show is all about. You're not just an artist. You're a reminder of why we believe in second chances." Though Leo didn't win the entire competition, his journey became one of the most inspiring moments in AGT history. A legacy beyond the stage. After the show, Leo signed with a major record label, but he remained humble. He returned to the Philippines and built a small music school dedicated to underprivileged kids, the Ramon Ramirez School of Music and Arts. He taught them how to sing, play instruments, and believe in themselves. Music isn't about fame, he told them. It's about healing. When asked what kept him going after so many failures, Leo smiled and said, "Greater than, every time I wanted to quit, I'd remember my father's words. The world may forget a carpenter's name, but never the house he built. And I think I just built mine." Epilogue. Months later, Simon Cowell invited Leo to perform at a charity concert in London. As Leo sang before thousands once again, Simon leaned to Terry Crews and said quietly, "He's the kind of artist who reminds you what music is meant to be, pure, honest, and from the heart." After the show, Leo walked backstage, holding his father's old wooden pendant, carved from the first chair they built together. He whispered, "We did it, Dad." And somewhere, in the silence that followed the applause, it almost felt like his father's voice answered, soft, proud, eternal.